Hello, my name is Mark and welcome to I Am Organic Gardening. I have a large backyard garden that's 100 feet by 100 feet, and also I'm established on a 22-acre organic farm. And today is potato planting day. Now we're going to plant these up later than normal because I want to see how well they do. And I know you have this figured out already because planting schedules by date wise isn't always right. It's always by temperature too. So it's two factors that go into this. But we're going to plant up some store-bought potatoes in cardboard boxes. That's right, cardboard boxes. Free cardboard boxes. And it's going to be a raised bed. The reason we're going to do this because it maintains moisture longer that these guys love to grow in. And also, it's reducing the amount of weeds in your garden. And if you have hard, compact soil, they don't like to grow in it. So we're going to use our own native soil, put it in a raised cardboard bed. And also, too, that cardboard is going to, let's say, help the condition of the soil, any kind of soil you have, with fungi, because that fungi loves to live on that cardboard, and that's going to help our potatoes grow. So let me show you some of the things that we need first to get started, and then we'll come back and start planting them up. So here we have our bags of our store-bought potatoes, and they usually come in different poundage. So look for the cheapest price, and also the color we're going to be using is red. Red varieties are normally early varieties, so they take a shorter amount of time to grow and to be able to harvest. So we're going to use the red type only, and I recommend you doing that also too. They taste the same as everything else. And another reason why we're planting potatoes up, and I know a lot of people say, oh, they're cheap to buy in the store. There's nothing like fresh potatoes. They are awesome, and especially in the summertime. I bought these bags about, let's say, a month ago, and they're starting to sprout in the bag. And here we have another couple of bags that I dumped out already. And what this shows you is the condition they're in prior to planting them up into the ground or into our raised bed boxes, our free raised bed boxes. The next thing we're going to use is our cardboard boxes. Now I happen to have 14 boxes all the same size because I've been saving them for a while. So a couple things about cardboard boxes. They're not toxic at all. And a lot of people will write comments that there's things in it and all this other stuff. It's not true. People have been using cardboard boxes, even organic farmers like myself have been using cardboard, especially brown cardboard. And that's a distinguish between the two. Brown cardboard that you see here is the ones you want to use, and the black ink on it is soy ink. What you don't want to use is glossy or shiny boxes or boxes with wax on it, or colored boxes. You don't want to use them at all. But again, we have some nice boxes here, and that box size is this way here is about 1.5 feet long, 1 foot wide, and this box is 10 inches tall, but I'm only going to fill it up 8 inches after I put the potato on top of the ground. The bottom of the box you'll see here is let's say a seal or certificate or classification of the box. We want at least 85 to 95 pound strength of that box. That means that box is going to weather outside very long until you are done growing your potatoes. So the next couple things we're going to need here is our worm castings. That's going to give us all the proper nutrition that the potatoes need and to keep them healthy all through until harvest. And also, if you want to keep our soil, let's say, fluffy after we put it inside the box, you can use used coffee grounds. And if you don't have them available when you want to plant up or saving them ahead of time, you can also use here. And this is a coconut core brick. Both the worm castings and the coconut core brick, they sell online, and they're relatively very good in pricing. You can use your worm castings for years in the future. You don't have to use them all up at the time too, but they are great. They are plant available nutrients as soon as you put them in the soil, and the plant can access that immediately. And also too is that they, let's say, give life back to the soil, microbes back to the soil, those worm castings. And if you haven't discovered yet about the coconut coir bricks that they sell online, and again, they are reasonably priced, they help grow fungi in your soil, and it's a great thing. You just have to take the brick, soak it in water until it expands and hydrates, and then you can put it right back into your soil. And it's something that's going to keep your garden growing for years, because what that brick does, it allows the other part of your garden, which you're lacking of, is fungi in the soil. That's fungi food, and that's very important, because most people in their garden soil have only just bacteria, and that's what they're finding out. You need a ratio of 1-to-1 of fungi and bacteria in the soil, and that coconut coir brick or coffee grounds or any organic matter in the soil that's not, let's say, grass or anything else too, but wood chips, hay, that type of thing, or straw, is all fungi food, and that's what you need to feed your soil and also to feed your plants. And the last thing you're going to need is a good source of water near your potatoes and also your garden. So here we need at least 1 inch of water per week for those potatoes. So here I chose a spot in my garden. It's pretty much level, and we're going to put the potato boxes in line here, and I'll show you shortly. And also too, when choosing location, potatoes like full sun. Full sun is anything, let's say, more than 6 hours a day. So here I have the bottom of the box, and I want to show you this before you put your boxes on the ground. Take your flaps here, your end flaps, fold them inwards, and then fold the long way flaps downwards. You don't want to cut these flaps off. They're going to give strength to the box. And then flip it over to the top and do the same thing. Flip your inner flaps down first, and then your long outer flaps down later. So now you have, let's say, a good access on top and bottom that are open, so water can flow through and also the roots can grow better. You don't ever want to keep the bottom of the box, let's say, closed to the soil. Okay, let's lay these potato boxes out here. Again, I'm going to start pretty much at the beginning here. Now, we just lay them down like so in a row, and they don't have to be level, because they're all going to level off in a little bit when we add soil to them, and we're going to discuss about wind problems and that type of thing too. So all is good. We're just going to put 7 in a row here. We got 4, 5, 6, and 7. Good. Now we're going to plant them up. So here's our potato setup, our potato train, because it's full of boxes, get it? So anyway, we have 7 boxes in a row here, and I did it the skinny ways down the row, because if I have to in the future to stop Colorado potato beetles, which is a, let's say, an insect that loves to eat potato leaves, that I can cover this whole thing with insect netting and straight down a line. So here I'm showing what insect netting looks like. It's a very fine mesh and extremely fine. The holes are very small, and water and sunlight can still get through there, but it keeps out the Colorado potato beetle. And if you wish to make something like this, there's a separate video of this. So now we're going to plant up potatoes, and this was the potatoes in the first cardboard box I showed you that was laying in the tray. Now we can use small potatoes, large potatoes, we can cut them in half, but to get the best results, you should always try to use a large potato. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but if you're just starting to plant out potatoes and you haven't done it for a while, it's always good to plant a whole potato. So we're just going to space them in our box like so. We're going to place them eyes up where they're growing already. We're going to face them up towards the top of the box like so. And they're going to be about, let's say, anywhere from, depending on your box, anywhere from 8 inches to a foot apart, whatever you can do. Next, we're going to add our worm castings. I placed some already here. We're just going to take a good size handful and place it on top of each potato, because what happens is the roots are going to come out, the fibrous roots that's going to supply that potato water and nutrients is going to be right next to the potato for a while, and we want to get those nutrients in there. So we place a handful on top, and next we're going to do, I have some native soil right next to me. You can use anything you want, and we're going to add 4 inches of native soil. That's sand, silt, and clay, and any organic matter that you have right there. We're going to put in about 4 inches from the top of the potato upwards, and that's going to give us a nice growing area like so. Now that's about 4 inches, or at least maybe if the box is 10 inches tall, at least maybe more, a little less than halfway up the top of the box. Next, we're going to add our coffee grounds, a good handful also too, and just right on top like so. And then we're going to mix that up in there and keep everything nice and fluffy. I call it fluffy, but it makes the soil just not compact down again, and that's what you don't want. You want somewhat of a nice, easy soil to grow in. And next, what you can do, you have about 4 inches on top of your potato of soil, and just give it a nice watering, let it soak through, because we're going to add more. So now, since we're planting our potatoes later than normal, and you can see here, see how the water, I'll wash my hand off here. Okay, here's a good tip also too. See how the water's just sitting there? That means you have no air pockets in your soil right now. Now it's slowly going away. Usually water will not pool like that because I've moved that soil. Let's say I tilled that soil and it's slowly going down. Now if it takes a while to go down, you should add a little bit more coffee grounds, another handful. Now that went down pretty good and is soaking in there. So the key to always growing things in your garden is having air and water in your soil. This is all minerals right here, right now. Your sand, silt, and clay and organic matter. So that's doing just fine. So now we're going to add, in this case, I've done other videos on potatoes. In this case, we're going to add another 4 inches of soil, so a total of 8 inches. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm planting late, and I want those roots to establish slowly and grow through the soil and not get affected by the heat that we might have in another 2 or 3 weeks. We have 4 inches of soil in there already, so let's add another 4 inches, a total 8 inches that we're going to have in here in our box. And don't worry, you don't have to, since they're getting planted later on than normal, they will grow up to the top and sprout out. It's just going to take a while, so be patient with them. But they're going to be fine. Potatoes are very resilient. And now what we're creating right here is our own habitat, our own environment here. As you can see, let's get the stick out of here. Now, what we did, this is going to be nice and cool. The sun's going to reflect off the side of the box here, not heated up so much. We're going to have just a nice layer of soil that keeps it cool in the ground. And then also too, those roots and the potatoes will grow slowly since we're planting them up, like say maybe a month later than normally we should. And again, repeat the same process. We're going to take our coffee grounds and take a good handful, put them on top like so, and we're going to mix them in. Beautiful. And the next thing we're going to do is give it some amazing, nice water. And the best thing about watering, and you want to water at least the potatoes 1 inch per week. You want to get an inch of water. And how do you know you're going to get an inch of water? Because again, like, it's not going to soak you down or that quick. So fill up your box at least with an inch of water like so, and let it sit there, and then you know you got an inch of water per week, and that's your gauge, because you just filled up like so, about an inch of water in there, and they're all set to go. Nice. And that's what we do. And every week we're going to go out and add an inch of water every week, because those potatoes love water. Thank you so very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And your love of gardening is also appreciated too, and I share that with you. So give it a good thumbs up. I'll see you shortly with another video. You remember how easy and simple this is, and the rewards are amazing when you get that fresh crop of potatoes in a few months from now.